Next lecture of mechanics of material. So in last lecture we were discussing about shear force and bending moment diagram. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about pure bending. So first of all, let us see what is pure bending. Is nothing but if you are trying to bend a force, instead of using any kind of force, just because of force, if you are trying to bend a material, for example, if I am having this pen, I am trying to bend this by applying a moment on either side of the material. If I am applying the moment on either side of material, just like a couple, if you want to open a cap, so you apply a couple to rotate the cap, or if you want to open a cap, you use a couple, just like. Similarly, if you want to bend a material without applying any kind of force, you have to apply moment on both sides. If you apply moment, what will happen? The material will obviously bend like this. Okay, the material will bend like this. Let us take a rectangular element. This is my rectangular element. This is the axis of the element. Let the element be A, B, C, D initially. Okay, when I apply moment, let us take our moment be like this. I am applying a moment like this. So because of this moment, what will happen to the material is, so this is the original section. So the material will bend like this. Okay, and whole material means this axis will also shift. This axis will also shift. Okay. Now, what is happening here? If you observe, the material on the top surface will undergo compression. Okay, so this material will elongate. There will be a layer which neither undergoes any kind of compression or any kind of expansion. That layer is nothing but called as neutral axis. We call it as neutral axis. That axis will neither undergo any kind of compression, will not go any kind of expansion. Okay, so that layer is generally considered as the center of the element. For example, let this be, we are considering two elements here. Okay, we are considering two elements. So in these two sections, out of this section I am considering one element below the axis. We are considering element below the axis. Let the length of the element as EF. Let the element will be EF. Okay. Now when I have bent this, obviously it will make a center of this. It will obviously make some center. So this is the angle theta, and from here to here will be obviously considered as radius. From center to any object is considered as radius. So this is my radius now. Okay. I have an element which is at a distance of y here. So this is my y. The same element I am considering at this section. So this is my y. What is the total distance of that element now? About center. This is my center because of bending. So what will be the total distance? R plus y. Correct? So R plus y. And if you want to measure the length of this, so the length of the element, what is nothing but, if you want, for example, if you are having a circle, if you want to measure the circumference of the circle, what is the formula? Pi into d. If it is in terms of radius, you will write 2 pi r. What is 2 pi means? 360 degrees. 360 degrees into the part which we are going to measure the length. What we are taking? 360 degrees angle into the length from center to the last element. That is nothing but radius. Now if I want to measure the length of this element from here to here, or this part if I want to measure, okay, so this is my EF. Here it will be gone like E dash F dash. Correct? Now if I want to measure the length of the element E dash F dash, so R plus theta into theta. Why theta means here where I am using 2 pi r, angle into radius. Here radius is r plus y, whereas theta will give you the length for what angle it has been completely rotated. Okay. Now if I want to measure the strain in that element, what is strain? If I want to measure the strain in that element, strain in that element, E dash F dash, that is equal to E dash F dash minus EF by EF we have to find. E dash F dash is new length, EF is old length, and EF is original length. Okay. So that is R plus y into theta, okay, minus EF by EF. Correct? right now? Yes, so r plus y into theta minus EF by EF. So again, if you take this EF length alone, if this EF length was correct, so r plus theta minus EF by EF, okay. But we have discussed that there will be a length, there will be an axis n, the r we can consider it as n dash n dash, here it will be n. So we have discussed that there will be an axis which does not undergo any kind of deformation. Now what will be the length of this n dash after applying the moment? Let it be n dash itself, that is remains same. N dash is equal to, with respect to r, if it is, what is the length of that? R. Okay, so the value of n dash will be equal to r theta, correct? Because r we have considered from the neutral axis, so r into theta, that is length into angle, similar to this, length into angle is theta, r into theta. Now see, this EF and NN are equal. Yes. I have told that your NN will be equal to n dash. Yes. So we can take n dash is equal to EF. Yes. So EF value we know it can be taken as r theta. According to this principle, EF will be equal to r theta. So substitute these values here, you will get r plus y into theta minus r theta divided by r theta. Clear? Now if if we multiply the values, then it will become r theta plus y theta minus r theta divided by r theta. This r theta plus r theta minus r theta cancel. Values left out is y theta divided by r theta. Theta gets cancelled. So strain value you are getting as strain is equal to y by r. Strain is equal to y by r. Clear? So strain is equal to y by r. So generally what is strain? Instead of using this formula ratios in terms of Young's modulus and sigma, what is the formula? No, stress is equal, strain is equal, no stress formula. Stress is equal to sigma into stress by strain, you write. Stress by strain is equal to E. So stress is equal, strain is equal to stress by E, correct? E is your Young's modulus. We can write in this way. So here also strain means stress we generally write it as sigma by E. Now sigma by E is equal to y by theta, y by r. We simplify this as sigma y by E is equal to E by r. So what is the thing is nothing but we are taking out a relationship with respect to stress, with respect to the deflection of the length, if you are considering any filament. Now if I want to find where the maximum stress is going to act, is in this element maximum stress will be acting at this point, because this is undergoing tension, so the maximum tension will be acting at this element. So below the neutral axis the tension starts to increase. Similarly, if you want to find the maximum compression, you have to consider the topmost element. So by this principle we can able to analyze that. So if you want to make sigma max, so this will become E by R of Y max. If you want to sigma minimum, if you want to find sigma minimum, then you have to take E by R Y minimum, because for a particular element Young's modulus is fixed and the moment by which it is making an angle will be fixed, the radius will be fixed. So only value by which we are getting, that is nothing but y minimum. So this is one relationship. Another thing which you have to find actually by this relationship is m by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. So this half we have found already. So this equation is called as moment equation. Similarly, the same equation you will get in torsion also. Tau by R is equal to C theta by L is equal to sigma by V. So similar equation you will find in the next chapter also. So in this chapter we have to find this relationship. Okay. So among this relationship, this we have already obtained. Sigma by y is equal to E by R. Now we have to use this m by I. By using this m by I, we have to find the value of this and we have to complete the relationship. This is nothing but the relationship of moment, stress and Young's modulus with respect to a particular element. Okay. So how we are going to do that? Let us see. Next, in this, now what we have written, the relationship here is m by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R, where we have found this, and now we have to calculate the moment. Now we have to calculate the moment. So what is generally moment? We write moment is equal to force into distance, correct?
Yes.
Generally we write this formula, force into distance. What is force with respect to stress? If stress is given, how we can find the force? So that is equal to sigma into A into distance. Is it correct?
Yes.
So if force is given, if stress is given, if you multiply with that, you will get the force into distance. So this is a particular for small element of area, so I cannot consider the whole area. I will take it as dA because it is a small element. Okay. Now this distance already we know. Now where we are generally we have to calculate the moment. So in this previous derivation we have done the calculation on this small element, correct? Yes. So similarly now we are about to calculate the moment on this small element, that is EF element we are going to calculate. Okay. So for calculating this moment we have to take the force on this element into distance. What is the distance from the neutral axis?
Y.
Yes, simple. So that is equal to sigma into dA element into y. dA element into y. Already we have got the value from here. What is sigma? E by R into y into dA into y, correct?
Yes.
So moment is equal to what we will get? Moment is equal to E by R y square dA. Now we are calculating moment only on this small element which is below the neutral axis. Now if you want to calculate the moment acting on the whole body, what we have to do?
Integrate.
We have to integrate. So that is equal to moment m is equal to E by R integration of y square dA. So generally we know y square dA is nothing but, if you consider from moment of inertia, this integral of y square dA can be considered as moment of inertia. Now m is equal to E by R, we can write this as I. So this is your moment of inertia formula in terms of integration. So integration of y square dA. Okay. So EI into E by R into I. So I will send the I on other side. It will become m by I is equal to E by R. We got second equation. First we got sigma by y is equal to E by R. Okay. Now both if you do that, sigma by y is equal to E by R is equal to, now E by R is equal to
M by I.
So we have found the relationship between all the elements. So here moment, we generally call it as moment as well as moment of resistance. Moment of resistance. So when you are trying to apply a moment, so it will have some stress inside. So this is the stress. Young's modulus, we know it is a material constant. R is nothing but if you apply moment, to what length it will get deflected. If I am applying moment, so what will happen? Obviously it will make some radius, it will have some curvature. So that radius. Next I is your moment of inertia of the material. Moment of inertia. What is generally moment of inertia? So the body tries to be in its original position, that is inertia generally. So moment of inertia is nothing but the area tries to remain in its original state. Okay, when you are trying to apply the load, generally what is inertia is nothing but if you are moving in on a surface, on a bus or on a car, your body tries to be on a motion or at rest until unless external force is added. Similarly, this object tries to be at rest in terms of area. It tries to be in motion or it tries to be in a force rest. So when you are applying that moment, obviously its moment of inertia will come into picture. Okay, so this is the derivation. So this derivation most of the time they will ask you. This has been asked in more than 3 to 4 times in previous papers. So derive the relationship or derive the expression for moment of resistance. They will give moment of resistance. So moment of resistance is nothing but m. So how to do this, we will revise once again. Okay. So this first, what is the concept behind this is nothing but here previously we have seen that when we are applying loads on a beam. In this, instead of applying loads, we are directly applying the moment. We are directly applying the moment. So what we have done before applying the moment, I have considered that element EF, which is just below the neutral axis or just below the axis of it at a distance of y meters or y units. Now when I am applying the load or moment on it, when I am applying a load or moment on it, obviously it will bend like this because of this moment which I am applying in. So this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise, two moments acting on the element on the sides, so because of that it will bend. So we know that when we are trying to bend, the upper surface will try to compromise, that compression force will act on the upper surface. Similarly the lower surface will try to expand. Okay, now when they are becoming a curvature, obviously it will have some center of it. When it is a curvature, anything when it is getting curved, so it will have some center of it. So similarly, since this whole surface is curvature, so I am trying to obtain its center. So we have joined that line, so we have obtained the center. From that center to this neutral axis, that is nothing but the axis of that element, I am taking the distance as radius of that element. Because for example, if you are having a circle, center to the last element is nothing but your radius. So center to this element, okay, I am considering it as radius. Now because of this movement, what is happening to this EF element is nothing but EF element is becoming elongated. EF element is elongated. So how much amount of strain has been obtained this element? First we are trying to calculate, that is strain in the element EF, strain in the element EF, which is below the neutral axis, below the axis. What is this actually? Neutral axis is nothing but above the neutral axis every element will undergo compression, every element below it will undergo tension basing upon the type of movement. Okay, now what is the strain is nothing but change in length by original length. So after applying the moment, its length has been changed to E dash F dash length. This length has been changed to E dash F dash. E dash F dash minus EF by EF. So E dash F dash in terms of circle, if you want to find the length of this circumference of the circle, we generally take 2 pi r, where 2 pi is nothing but 360 into r. Similarly for this particular element, I have to first measure the radius or measure the distance from the center. From the center the total distance is r plus y. So r plus y we have taken, or here you can take r plus y we have taken, and what is the angle it is subtending at the center is theta, and we are taking the length only for this particular angle. We are not taking the length of that element for whole circle, we are taking only for this particular angle. So we are taking r plus y into theta, correct? So E dash F dash we have found r plus y into theta, EF we don't know, EF we don't know. So from the first figure, that is nothing but initial before application of moment, we are trying to calculate the EF, because this is EF value is before the application of moment. Now see here, so N will be equal to EF before the applying of load, before applying of moment, clear? Now what is this RR? So what is this NN is nothing but, here we have told that this element will not change it will not undergo any kind of compression, it will not undergo any kind of tension. If both are not undergone on that element length will be same before the application of moment, after the application of moment, because neutral axis neither undergoes compression or tension, so it will remain same. So that same, how we will measure the length of this element is nothing but r into theta. Nn dash is equal to r into theta, but Nn dash and Nn are equal, Nn and Nn dash are equal, that is equal to r theta we can take. Again if you see here, Nn is also equal to EF. With that we have found the value of EF. EF is equal to r theta. We will substitute here. So is r theta we have substituted, we have multiplied this internally. So r theta plus y theta minus r theta by r theta. So r theta cancel, y theta by r theta, that we are getting y by r. We have get the value of strain as y by r. Generally what is strain is nothing but we write it as sigma by E. We write it as sigma by E, that is stress by Young's modulus. So sigma by E is equal to E by R. We got that relationship first. So this is the first half which we have obtained. Next half is we have to obtain with respect to moment of resistance. Now we are applying a moment on this element. Before that, let us understand what is moment means. What is moment? Force into distance. So if we don't have any kind of force here, but because of application of moment, there will be a stress generated in the element. So we are taking stress into area into distance. Here why we are taking this dA is nothing but because we are considering the stress only. We have calculated the strain on this element, means we have to apply the stress also on this element, that is nothing but moment also on this particular small element itself. So moment on EF, you can write here moment on EF. So that is nothing but sigma into area of that small element EF into the distance from this radius. This distance is nothing but y from the neutral axis. Clear? So E by R into y into dA into y. Why this E by R into y? From this we can get the value of sigma. From this you can get the value of sigma. Sigma is equal to EY by R. So EY by R is obtained from this value into dA into y. So y is being repeated twice. E by R is equal to y square dA. We know that integration of, this is for small element, correct? So here we can write dm also. So this is for a small element. So dm is equal to, we can write. Now if I calculate, if I want to find the value of m, then I have to integrate dm. Correct? M is equal to integration of dm on EF element. So that is nothing but E by R, because this is constant, is not, it does not depend upon the integration. So I am directly taking out integration of y square dA. Y square dA is, we can consider it as moment of inertia. What is unit of moment of inertia? Generally you know, mm power 4. Check here, you will get the same units or not. Y square dA. This is called as area moment of inertia. This is called as area moment of inertia. Okay, so m square here for A, this is also m square, m power 4. So we can consider this as moment of inertia I. So m by I is equal to E by R. So this we got first. Again from here we have got one relationship. If you do this, we will get the total equation as m by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. Done. So welcome to the next lecture of mechanics of material. In today's lecture we are discussing a problem on pure bending. So the first question in this they have given is a steel plate. Here they have specified it is actually a plate initially, basing on which we are applying a load. What type of load here we are applying? This is purely bending. So we are trying to bend it. So when you bend the plate will become an arc, circular arc of radius 10. So they have given the data, width of the belt, they have given thickness of the belt, they have given. Okay, and now they have given the radius of your arc by which the plate has bent. They are asking you to determine the maximum stress induced and the bending which will be produced stress maximum. So this maximum stress which is being produced is because of bending, and they have given the initial data E is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 5. So let us first take a plate. So this is your plate. So what is the length of this plate? Width of this plate is 120 mm. Okay. Now they are giving thickness. So the thickness we are considering as this. So this is your thickness of 20 mm. So when I apply moment, so this will become like this. So this will bend like this. Okay. So this is bending. So it is creating an arc of radius. What is the radius given? 10 meters. So the data has been given like this. 10 meters has been given. Okay. So they are asking us to find sigma max and bending moment. Okay. So whenever this problem if you see, first thing you have to write is relationship. Let us write the relationship, which is, what is the relationship? M by I is equal to, what is the relationship we have? M by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. See, M by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. Okay. So what is the given data? First of all, write the data. Width B is equal to 120 mm. Thickness is given T is equal to 20. Radius R is given as 10 meters, that is equal to 1000 mm. Okay. Clear? Now first of all they have asked us to find stress. First of all let us try to find stress. Okay. Before identifying the stress, we don't have any other values which we can able to find. So I will first calculate moment, because of moment itself the stress is being generated. Because of moment itself stress is being generated. So m by I is equal to E by R, because I have the data of I. What is the moment of inertia for a flat plate? What is moment of inertia? So moment of inertia I is equal to BD cube by 12. Okay, BD cube by 12 for a flat surface or a rectangular surface. So B is given, T is given. So we can take the values directly, and R is given, R we can substitute. E is given, yes, E is given, every data is present. So basing on the data which you can easily obtain, that we have to take. Okay, so let us take this value. Okay, so with this, write down. So what is m is nothing but, we don't know, m is equal to, E value is nothing but 2 into 10 to the power of 5 by R value is given as 10 into 1000 into this, I will go on other side. So I will calculate the I separately. I is equal to 120 into T. So T 20 cube divided by 12. You may ask me, sir, for moment of inertia we have two values. One is IB cube by 12, another is DB cube by 12. Why we are taking only BD cube by 12 is nothing but the plate is bending about this axis. This axis is actually cutting which length? This length. Okay, 20 axis. Width is, it is not cutting. If you bend like this, if you are bending like in this way, so in the front way, then you have to use 120 as cube. Okay, so basing on that you have to use the formula. So what is the value for this? So the value of I is equal to 80,000. So directly substitute that value and find the value for m. Find the value for m. M is equal to 20 into. So calculate the total value and tell me the answer. 16,000. Okay, this is the value which you are obtaining. So we will write it as 16 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay. So we have got the value of I is equal to 18 to the power of 80,000 we have got. Now simple calculation. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 4 zeros here, or you can directly cancel here 4 zeros. 16 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton mm. What is the unit for moment is Newton mm. You calculated the value of moment. Okay. Next we have to calculate the value of sigma. Sigma by y is equal to E by R. Sigma by y is equal to E by R. Actually this is not, thickness means this total surface we take 20 mm. 20. Okay, thickness is this only generally. Okay, now the sigma already we have discussed. Whenever the maximum stress they will ask, it will be either at this corner or at this corner, means exactly half above or half below. So if it is 20, what is half below? What is the distance from center to the maximum layer? 10. So y value will be considered as 10. Now sigma max is equal to, if I take sigma y is equal to 2, if I consider this element whose length is about 2, so then also we will get a value of sigma, but that will not be maximum. It will become maximum only at the extreme parts, either it is in terms of compression or it in terms of tension, both sides. Okay, so y we are considering as 10. So y sigma by 10 is equal to E value is 2 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by R value we have already known. R we have considered as 10. They have given in the problem 10 into 1000 because it is in meters. Okay, then sigma max is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 5 into 10 divided by 10 to the power of 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay, so sigma max is equal to 200. Sigma max is equal to 200. So sigma max is equal to 200 Newton per square. So continuation of this is here. So in this way we have to calculate the value of sigma max and sigma min. Okay, if they ask sigma minimum, it will be at a point of 0. So this is 0, or you have to take it as minimum value. This is in maximum, in terms of maximum. Minimum means you will take minus sign generally on other side. So that is also minus 10 you will take. So you will get minus value, minus 200. Minus 200, tension, compression. Okay, another thing you can take is if it is minimum at this layer also. If y is equal to 0, there is no stress. So stress will become 0. Okay, clear? Compression means we have to take upper half. Tension means we have to take other half. A maximum means we generally take positive value itself. Clear? So in this way we have to solve the problem.